n8n is pure power. Let's go on a journey starting at the n8n.io homepage, where you will see that n8n is a flexible AI workflow automation tool, but I'm going to be contrarian here because n8n is not just for technical teams. It is for people like you and like me, AI enthusiasts who want to harness the power of AI agents and automation to use them to solve problems in our lives. And n8n is that tool. So let's take the first step on our journey by heading up to the top right-hand corner and clicking the Get Started button. Hey there, it is I versus AI, and this is n8n. I'm going to open up this sidebar here to draw your attention to the admin panel down in the bottom left, which will take you to your dashboard. I'd like you to click on the Manage link up here and set your time zone. The time zone is something that's pretty important once you get into workflows. You want a Gmail sent to you at a certain time. You want to know the weather for that day. That's why the time zone is really important to set. This will be for all workflows, but I'll show you later on how to change time zones individually for a single workflow. AI agents are all the rage right now, and we will build our own n8n AI agent. n8n's implementation of AI agents is top-notch. And you can take a look in the AI agent example. This will give you a quick overview on how they work. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's first learn the basics of n8n. I'm going to click the Start from Scratch button, which will take us into an empty canvas. The important things to note are down in the bottom left-hand corner, where you can zoom to fit, zoom in and out, and tidy up your workflow. Naming your workflow as you build them is very important. And adding tags like demo is very helpful for finding your automations later on. In the top right-hand corner are the settings. You can input from a URL or a file to save your workflow. You can download it. I do recommend doing this because there is not an auto backup feature within n8n. In the settings area, two important settings to pay attention to are the time zone setting I just mentioned. This pertains just for this workflow. And once your automation is running well and smoothly, I recommend turning off the Save Successful Production Executions. I'll show you the execution list as we move along in our journey. But basically, this means that every time a workflow runs successfully, there's no need to log that. If you have a workflow that checks every minute or so for new information, that will clog up your execution list quite quickly. So clicking Do Not Save will keep those executions from cluttering up your execution log. Let's click Save down in the bottom. And we're now faced with every writer's worst nightmare, a blank page. Or in this case, a blank canvas. But n8n encourages you to take the first step by literally adding the first step, which opens the Node menu. This menu you will be in all of the time when building out your workflow. And this trigger is the one you will use more often than any other node. So let's click it and drop it to the workspace. Now that I have a node on my workspace, I'm going to take a moment to do something really important, and that's save. I hit Control S automatically when I do anything in a workflow because, again, n8n does not have an auto save. You need to do the saving and backing up of your workflows on your own. If you'd like to know how I automatically back up all of my workflows and my credentials every 2 hours, let me know. And I'll do a video for you on just that, backing up your credentials and workflows. There are 3 ways that you can add a node to the canvas. You can click the plus button, you can drag, or you can hit the tab key. Now we have a node on the canvas, and this might be the point where you start to feel a little overwhelmed. What node should you put down next? What does the workflow need to do? Do I need a different type of trigger? It'd be nice if I could see all of the nodes laid out. Now, you can, and I do encourage you to, look through the node menu. For example, the data transformation, flow, or core nodes, and just read through what those nodes are. You'll get an idea of what can be done, and as those ideas come into your brain and the juices get flowing, you'll start to think of ways that you can build out automations. But I've also taken some time to create for you this free node reference library. And it's a really helpful tool to be able, if you're like me, to get a visual overview of what the nodes do. This is not every node in every category, more the nodes that I felt you would most likely use in your journey learning n8n. It basically is a quick way to see what's possible. These are the trigger nodes. These are the nodes that can start a workflow execution. These are the data transformation nodes, and they can manipulate, filter, or convert data. Flowing core nodes contain nodes that branch, merge, or loop data through a workflow. They also contain some core functionality nodes like make HTTP requests and accept webhooks. App actions are all of the apps that you can use. Now, if n8n does not have a native integration, don't worry. I'll show you a way around that allows you to use any app out there that has an API. In other words, a way to connect to it programmatically. These are the apps that are most common that I felt many people would use. But there are a lot more apps available. AI agents are so powerful, and there's lots of different nodes here, and they're all defined by the ability to attach models, tools, and or memory. These are some of the tools that can be added for use with AI agents. And this is vector memory, tools for AI agents related to memory storage. These are other miscellaneous tools that AI agents can use. And finally, the workhorses of the workflow automation scene, and that's sticky notes. These are incredibly helpful for adding notes for you to remember when building, adding notes for others who may want to use your workflow, and organizing your workflow. I use sticky notes constantly, and you will too. They're very helpful. Now, I told you that n8n was powerful, and it is. It's got one really important secret trick that no other automation tool does. I'm talking Zapier, Make.com, all the other automation tools that I know of have no way to do this one very simple thing that has catapulted n8n into the notice of, well, everyone. So let's take the next step together on our n8n starter guide journey. That video that showcases that power, that secret, it's on screen right now.